Hello and welcome to another edition of Strategic Gaming. As always, I'm your friendly neighborhood Nerd King Mac Taylor, here to discuss episode 4 of Island of the Idols. So, we start out the episode, Karishma still worried about her place in the tribe. The pity party for Karishma is just rolling through and continuing to give me down vibes. Aaron talks about wanting to target Dean and Chelsea, because Dean and Chelsea are kind of starting to showmance it up. They're showmancing the stone. And Aaron, no bueno. Even though really, he talks about targeting Dean, not Chelsea. That's not good because the men are depleting, and also Dean's like his only ally at this point. Why the hell are you throwing Dean under the bus? Chelsea also not helping her case at all by talking about, like, oh, we cuddled last night and we're getting so close. And it's like, this isn't summer camp, Chelsea, and you're a fan. You should damn well know this is a bad idea. So Aaron and Missy, they talk about taking out Dean, which for Missy and her girl alliance, this is perfect. But for Aaron, this is not. He should more talk about taking out Chelsea. And they don't know she has an idol, but it would help them out substantially if they could take her out. And then on Vokai, Jamal still feels in the bottom, which he kind of is. But still, Nora and Jason, I think, are below him. But he's still not in the spot he was, which was toward the top. He should be playing in second gear, so, by his standards. So he goes idol hunting. And he actually does find a hidden immunity idol. Which is great because, again, he didn't have to go to the Island of the Idols to get it. So this is perfect for him. Vokai now must choose someone to go to the Island of the Idols. And everyone's like, well, I don't know. And Lauren's like, I ain't going to go to the damn Island of the Idols. I don't want a target on my back for it. And then Nora's like, I'll go. And I'm like, huh? And she's like, yeah, I'll go. Bye, guys. And so she goes, and Lauren's like, what? I'm glad that the person on the bottom made the target even bigger on themselves. And she giggled. Every time Lauren will say, like, a serious line, like, well, I'm glad that wasn't me. She really put a target on her back. And then she'll just laugh. Like, it's very Suri or, really, like, it just reminds me of Suri. How she would say something, like, really kind of cutthroat, and then just laugh it off. Because, yeah, she's a good player, but also she's, like, in her head, like, I can't believe I just said that. Oh, man, that's so cool. Like Lauren is one of my favorite players of this season so far because of she's very good at the game and also just very fun. So Nora, she goes to the Island of the Idols. And she's happy to see Rob and Sandra, but she's a little, like, the way she's laughing and stuff, like Rob is just looking at her like this. Rob looks at her like he looked at Peter Harkey and Marquesas. Like, this is a complete lunatic. But basically, they're going to have a blindfold challenge. And she has to convince her team to make her the caller. And if she does, she'll get an advantage in the game to block a vote. So to block someone's vote. Or she'll lose her vote at the next tribal council. And they're eating watermelon and talking about all this. And so she gets kind of info on the next tribal, and so she goes. But, and also just the watermelon thing, she's like, wow, I love watermelon so much. And it just reminded me of, like, Jackson Mickey from BB21. Like, I still have PTSD from BB21. So, yeah, that was just a little funny moment for me. And she, like, immediately takes the offer. Like, Rob can't even finish. She's like, yes, let's do it. Woo! We're on the Island of the Idols! Yeah, Survivor! And then Rob's like, okay. And Sandra's like, wow, this woman is dumb. Like, I think they love Nora for the fact that I do. Bad strategy, great television. So she gets back. And she's like, guys, I can give you, what the next challenge is going to be, but you have to agree that I get to pick my spot in that challenge. We're like, what's the challenge? I'll tell you what the challenge is if you let me pick what I can be. And they're like, what? Okay, I guess we have to then, because I don't know what the hell you're talking about. And so she's like, well, okay, well, it's going to be a blindfolded challenge. And, you know, so since it's a blindfolded challenge, I want to be the caller. And they're like, well, why are you a good caller? And she's like, well, now you cannot ask me questions. I get to be the caller because I gave you the info. That was the deal, guys. And they're like, okay, well, let's practice it. And so she's like in front of Dan. She's like, Dan, come toward my voice. Dan, come toward my voice. 10 paces toward my voice. She's like, I can't come towards your voice. You're going to be behind me in the challenge. And she's like, oh, well, let me just get behind you. And then she's like, walk 10 paces forward. 1, 2. You can't count his paces for him. You have to let him count his paces. And she's like, he like runs into a tree and everything. And like, so they're like, well, clearly Nora sucks at calling. And she does. She would be a disaster calling. And Kelly's like, well, she didn't reveal too much about the Island of the Idols, so that makes me look great. So I feel I'm not worried at all now about my lie. So, and Lauren's like, oh, man. Like, if she is the caller, if she puts the collar on her back and loses the challenge, that's her ass. And then she again just giggles like, oh man, I can't believe I said that too. Oh, God. I really, because I just watched Panama and Fans vs. Favorites for the Strategic Gaming podcast. So, like, I literally just watched Sari, and now I'm watching Lauren. And it's like, it's Lauren is a much younger, well, I'm not saying much younger, that would be insulting to Sari. She's a younger Sari, I think, as far as, like, she is not someone you're going to immediately think of for physical threat or whatever, but she is very good at getting her way. So and is great in confessionals. So I'm loving Lauren. Cannot say it enough. So, it's going to be, like, blindfolded to get these puzzle pieces, then someone has to call someone blindfolded doing the puzzle. And Vokai got to sit somebody out. And, like, we're going to sit out Nora. And she's like, me? So, not only is she not going to be the caller, but she's not even going to be in the challenge. So, no vote for her at their next tribal council. And Dan, during the challenge, like, accidentally smacks Missy in the face. Like, and Missy looked pissed, but she knew she can't hit him because he didn't do it on purpose. But it was like, ooh, he knocked her a good one. And I believe it's Tommy is like, or no, it's Jason. He's like, yeah, Dan, that's the other team, bro. And Dean and Chelsea are very bad. Like, they lost their team a lot of time because Dean went over instead of under, so they had to go back and do it again. And it ends up really super close. Lyro does catch up, but Vokai wins the immunity. So Jason ends up being a very good caller. And like Elizabeth was the other caller. She was good too, but Jason kind of does look like the hero for Vokai here. And Missy, she wants Karishma to stay, even though Karishma was very slow at that challenge. People were dragging her. So even Missy was annoyed, but she's like, we got to keep her because she's a number. Everyone's like, Karishma's expendable. She's a number. And she's like, oh my God, I hate this team. I hate this tribe, but I don't want to go home. And I'm like, oh, God damn it. I really just want to fast forward through Karishma talking now. And Tom wants her gone bad, which, Tom is an old school guy, old school kind of Survivor player. Karishma does not contribute to the challenges well, so she should go. And at this point, I think they should at least consider it. I know they have other plans, but they should consider sending Karishma out because she is very bad. Chelsea also, she's confident. She's like, man, I'm doing so good. I got so many alliances. And Aaron's like, well, I think we should still go for Dean. Again, pretty bad. And Elizabeth is like, no, I'm kind of on the Tom thing. Karishma should probably go. She's very bad. And I'm like, yes, Elizabeth, good idea. And Elaine and Elizabeth definitely don't want Dean out. Because they hear, like, why Dean? Like, oh man, Aaron's a sneaky bastard, turning on his own friend. Like, we don't want to take Dean out. So Elizabeth runs the info back to Aaron, like, Elaine's not going to do Dean. And so he's like, well, why? And then, Missy's like, well, all right, fine, let's take out Chelsea. Which, again, it might just be easier to just take out Karishma. But she was like, fine, I'll sacrifice Chelsea. So Elaine, gets back to her that it's Chelsea now, and Elaine's like, well, wait a minute. Why has the plan changed like 4 times? Like, Elaine's not really savvy to the new age, very fast Survivor, I guess. So she's like, Missy's super shady because she changed her mind like 4 times. So Elaine goes back to Elizabeth, and she's like, what the hell are we going to do? So, and that tribal, everyone's really unsure. And, like, even, like, Elaine talks about, like, I don't know what's going on. And Sandra's like, she never knows what's going on. Like, I don't think Sandra likes Elaine very much. And Missy lashes out at Karishma for, like, no reason. Like, I get that Karishma throws a pity party all the time, but, like, it doesn't make, like, I don't like Karishma. But I wouldn't be vocal about my dislike of Karishma to Karishma on Survivor because I don't want to make myself a bigger target than I already would be. There's no need to put yourself on the spot like that. And Karishma should just shut up because she doesn't make it any easier. And Missy talks about blindsides in a very unemotional way. And Chelsea's like, hey, I enjoy blindsides. It's like, it sucks, but like I enjoy it. And then by a vote of 6-2, Chelsea is blindsided herself. And Sandra's like, you wanted a blindside? There you go. You got blindsided. Sandra is the best in the, like, Rob's great at the teaching confessionals, and Sandra's great at the tribal confessionals. Like, I want to see a show where we just watch past seasons of Survivor with Sandra, because she is just fabulous. So with that, Chelsea gone, big blindside. Very interesting episode. Chelsea again was high on my predictions list, and on paper she would do really well. She had an idol, so another person went home in a row with an idol in their pocket. Another Lyro person went home, so Lyro's down 2 people right now. It's not great for looking for Lyro going into the next episode. But Chelsea, she tried to do too much. She had a girls alliance, she had the majority alliance, she tried to reel in Dean, and her threat level grew, and also, especially Missy seems to be very paranoid all the time. And that's just a lethal combination in this kind of game. So, she made a few mistakes, especially with the showman. So that was a terrible idea. But Chelsea, nevertheless, was an interesting player, and I think if she ever got to play again, her and Molly both, I think, would do very well on a second try. And with that, we end the coverage of episode 4. Stay tuned next time. We're going to talk about episode 5. Again, I'm Mac Taylor.